We don't have a democracy anymore. We're a large country that is completely owned and operated by the state of Israel, which the Rothschilds created. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no two ways around it anymore whatsoever at all. We just went into a senseless war that's going to cost us trillions of dollars, if not everybody's lives, because Israel bought out and blackmailed everybody. The president simply sold out. He thinks he's going to be the next Cyrus. He's already on a coin. He's good to go. If you don't know what I'm talking about, refer back to this video right here. Okay? But everybody else, the rest of our government isn't doing anything because Israel used Epstein to get blackmail on all of them, which is why this whole thing just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. The video I put out the other day was talking about false flag attacks. Well, oddly enough, this just in. Mystery drones are flying over Hegseth's house and Marco Rubio's house. Isn't that strange? Let me tell you a secret. Remember how we took over Maduro? We used the discombobulator. We discombobulated everybody. They didn't know what to do. Their brains were swelling. Their noses were bleeding. They didn't fire a single shot. Well, we've got technology and worse that can knock a drone out of the sky all day, every night, period. So here we go. Drones. They were text practicing back on the East Coast for 2 solid months, which Trump campaigned on. When I become president, I'll tell you who those drones were. Well, it turns out the drones apparently are us. But the drones are back. There will be a false flag attack. No two ways about it. And speaking of that, one of my subscribers, or 2 of my subscribers, sent me emails last night and this morning showing me that Lucky Larry, Lucky Larry, Lucky Larry Silverstein, who bought the World Trade Centers, Building 1 and 2 and Building 7, he bought those buildings even though they needed a $1 billion. Now, back in 2001, $1 billion was still a thing. Even though he bought these buildings, even though they both needed a $1 billion asbestos removal job. Well, how lucky for him. Well, Lucky Larry just bought the U.S. Bank in L.A., and it turns out there was something I didn't notice because I wouldn't notice it. But on the cover of The Economist magazine, it shows it. Straight up, it shows it. I don't know if anyone's covered this yet, but tell me I'm wrong. Look at this. Here's the cover, and notice the cake right in the middle. And no pun intended, when you blow it up, there it is, right there. You can't miss it. Or maybe you can, just wave it off. But if Lucky Larry bought it, it's going to be the next 9/11. It'll be on the West Coast because they want people off California anyway. So it works out perfectly for everybody, except for Americans, because, screw us. The other channel I wanted to mention real quick was Professor Jang, because I started following him about 9 months ago because YouTube recommended him to me. YouTube never recommends anybody that's talking about the New World Order or things that I talk about that's actually a professor. But the strange thing about this professor is he just popped up 9 months ago. He's a Chinese national. He lives in Canada. He's talking about every single solitary thing that I've ever talked about, except he's a professor and I'm not. And yet he's being promoted and pushed absolutely everywhere. So I find that really odd. You know what I mean? Just keep it in mind, because it makes no sense. Because in the world that we're familiar with, he'd be censored and gone right away. Or worse yet, he'd be Charlie Kirk. But I digress. Let's take a look at something that I made 10 years ago. 10 years ago on YouTube, I posted this. Just watch it, because it'll explain everything. Because unlike those that believe that Trump sold out, I knew from day one that he was never one of us. And he's not one of us. He's a billionaire. Not once, but twice in one lifetime. Do you know how many people you have to kill, screw, and maim, and rob, and swindle to become a billionaire just once, let alone twice? Israel's always been right behind him. Israel even married into his family. Jared Kushner is Mossad. But watch this video, 10 years old. All right, this video is not going to be very popular amongst Trump supporters and fans of Israel, but let's just keep it real here. The Israelites of the Bible are not the same people that are occupying Israel right now, and that's a fact. And I'm going to show you who Donald Trump is and what country he actually stands for, because it's not America. Donald Trump has come into office and he said a lot of things. He's made a lot of moves that made even people that doubted him completely think, hey, this guy might be the right person, but it's all a farce. I told you in the beginning that he was the law and order president. He was all about the military and patriotism. How many times did we hear him say that? America first, patriotism, another one of the isms. As soon as he becomes president, he puts the Muslim travel ban into effect, which causes Iran to threaten to drop the dollar. And then within 6 hours of that claim, all of a sudden, they're doing nuclear missile tests. And then Trump hits them with sanctions. And now all of a sudden, Iran's continuing to do this anyways. They know that this is a death wish, that this will cause all-out war, but that's exactly what Trump's job is to do. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to prove it to you right now. This is the Freemason man god, Albert Pike, in the letters he wrote to Manzini, outlining 3 world wars that would need to occur. The first 2 world wars, just as he recommended, happened and unfolded just as he said. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic worlds, and the political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on the issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. And it goes on. But if you follow my channel, you've heard all this. Now, why am I bringing all this up right now? Because the people that Donald Trump have surrounded himself are not Americans. They all have allegiance to Israel and the Jewish community, nothing to do with American values. So listen to this. This is going to take about 10 minutes to explain how many people surrounding Donald Trump, including his own son, are not for America. And Donald Trump will indeed start the world war that Manzini and Albert Pike outlined. And you'll see this. Watch this.
Michael Aboud, Communications Coordinator, Donald J. Trump for President, Sephardic Jew. Paul Schleitner, Chairman, Supervisory Board, Deutsche Bank, Donald Trump's largest lender, Ashkenazi Jew. Miriam Adelson, Endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, Donor, Future 45 PAC, Finance Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Sheldon Adelson, Endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, Donor, Future 45 PAC, Finance Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Paul Atkins, Member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Brian Ballard, Finance Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Elliot Broidy, Vice Chairman, Trump Victory Committee, Finance Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Safra Katz, Executive Committee Member, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Ashkenazi Jew. Michael Cohen, Executive Vice President and Special Counsel, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Director, United States National Economic Council, Ashkenazi Jew. Delos Cosgrove, Member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Gil Deser, President, Trump Desert Development, Ashkenazi Jew. Michael Deser, Founder, Trump Desert Development, Ashkenazi Jew. Louis Eisenberg, Chairman, Trump Victory Committee, Finance Co-Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Boris Epstein, Senior Advisor, Donald J. Trump for President, Ashkenazi Jew. Stephen Feinberg, Donor, Trump Victory Fund, Member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, Ashkenazi Jew. Lawrence Fink, Member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Alan Fishman, Chairman, Ladder Capital, Donald Trump's second largest lender, Ashkenazi Jew. Chairman, Ladder Capital, Donald Trump's second largest lender, Ashkenazi Jew. David Friedman, co-chairman, Israel Advisory Committee for Donald Trump, United States Ambassador to Israel, Ashkenazi Jew. Samuel Fox, Vice Chairman, Trump Victory Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Alan Garten, Executive Vice President and General Counsel, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Bruce Gelb, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, Ashkenazi Jew. Michael Glassner, Deputy Campaign Manager and National Political Director, Donald J. Trump for President. Special Advisor for Operations, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Ashkenazi Jew. Executive Vice President of Strategic Development, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Jason Greenblatt, Executive Vice President and Chief Legal Officer, the Trump Organization, Co-Chairman, Israel Advisory Committee for Donald J. Trump. President Trump's Special Representative for International Negotiations, Ashkenazi Jew. Vincent Harris, former Digital Strategy Manager, Donald J. Trump for President, Ashkenazi Jew. Thomas Hicks, Sr., Finance Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Carl Icahn, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, Special Advisor to the President for Regulatory Reform, Ashkenazi Jew. Gail Icahn, Finance Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Robert Eager, Member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Travis Kalanick, Member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Calico, Donor, Trump Victory Fund, Ashkenazi Jew. Daniel Kowalski, Deputy Policy Director, Donald J. Trump for President, Member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, Ashkenazi Jew. Charles Kushner, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, donor, Make America Great Again PAC, Ashkenazi Jew. Kushner. Senior Advisor, Donald J. Trump for President, Executive Committee Member, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Ashkenazi Jew. Yael Kushner, Ivanka Trump, Executive Vice President, the Trump Organization, Senior Advisor, Donald J. Trump for President, Executive Committee Member, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Orthodox Jewish Convert. Bennett LeBeau, donor, Trump Victory Fund, Ashkenazi Jew. Richard Lesser, Member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Ronald Lieberman, Executive Vice President of Management and Development, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Howard Lorber, donor, Trump Victory Fund, Member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, Ashkenazi Jew. David Malpass, Member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, Ashkenazi Jew. Douglas Manchester, donor, Make America Great Again PAC, Ashkenazi Jew. Bernard Marcus, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, donor, Rebuilding America Now PAC, donor, Make America #1 PAC, Ashkenazi Jew. Rebecca Mercer, donor, Make America #1 PAC, Executive Committee Member, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Ashkenazi Jew. Robert Mercer, donor, Make America #1 PAC, Ashkenazi Jew. Amanda Miller, Vice President of Marketing, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Eli Miller, Chief Operating Officer, Donald J. Trump for President, Ashkenazi Jew. Jason Miller, Senior Communications Advisor, Donald J. Trump for President, Communications Director, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Communications Director and Assistant to the President, the White House, Ashkenazi Jew. Stephen Miller, National Policy Director, Donald J. Trump for President, National Policy Director, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Senior Advisor to the President for Policy, the White House, Ashkenazi Jew. Stephen Mnuchin, donor, Trump Victory Fund, member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, National Finance Chairman, Donald J. Trump for President, Executive Committee Member, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Secretary, United States Department of Treasury, Ashkenazi Jew. Elon Musk, member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Samuel Nunberg, former Policy Advisor, Donald J. Trump for President, Ashkenazi Jew. David Orwitz, Senior Vice President of Acquisitions and Development, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Jeffrey Palmer, donor, Rebuilding America Now PAC, Ashkenazi Jew. Paulson, donor, Trump Victory Fund, member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, Ashkenazi Jew. Laura Perlmutter, donor, Trump Victory Fund, Finance Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Andrew Puzder, Secretary, United States Department of Labor, Ashkenazi Jew. Stuart Rauer, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, Ashkenazi Jew. Richard Roberts, Vice Chairman, Israel Advisory Committee for Donald Trump, Ashkenazi Jew. George Ross, Executive Vice President and Senior Counsel, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Wilbur Ross Jr., billionaire investor and former Senior Managing Director of Rothschilds Incorporated for 25 years, Secretary of Commerce, donor, Trump Victory Fund, member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, Secretary, United States Department of Commerce, Ashkenazi Jew. Stephen Roth, donor, Trump Victory Fund, member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, Ashkenazi Jew. Keith Schiller, Director of Security, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Stephen Schwartzman, Chairman, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Melvin Sembler, Vice Chairman, Trump Victory Committee, Finance Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Yaakov Shahem, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, donor, Trump Victory Fund, Ashkenazi Jew. Mark Short, Senior Advisor to Vice President-elect, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Ashkenazi Jew. Peter Thiel, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, donor, Trump Victory Fund, donor, Rebuilding America Now PAC, donor, Make America #1 PAC, Executive Committee Member, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Ashkenazi Jew. Lara Trump, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, Ashkenazi Jew. Vanessa Trump, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, Ashkenazi Jew. Kevin Warsh, member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Mark Weinberger, member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Ronald Weiser, Vice Chairman, Trump Victory Committee, Finance Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Andrew Weiss, Executive Vice President, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Alan Weisselberg, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew. Lawrence Weitzner, Advisor, Donald J. Trump for President, Ashkenazi Jew. Stephen Witkoff, donor, Trump Victory Fund, Ashkenazi Jew. Stephen Wynn, Financial Vice Chairman, Trump Presidential Inaugural Committee, Ashkenazi Jew. Richard Lefrak, donor, Trump Victory Fund, Ashkenazi Jew. Daniel Yergin, member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew.
I'll leave links to that entire video by Truth Media Revolution, and I find it really, really convenient that after he made this video, his channel got attacked and threatened to be sued. Do you see what happens? Do you see what's really going on? Do you see what Donald Trump's main goal is and who his backers are? He's totally surrounded him with people that are not Americans. For someone that keeps yelling America first and that they want to eradicate the Muslim population, think about this. Think about this. This is all a trick. He didn't overcome the elites. One man could never overcome the elites because he doesn't have the money, the power, and the people to do it. He's the trump card. We're being played. Richie from Boston. All links will be in the description. I'm out.
Israel has been trying to get us into war with Iran for the longest time because Israel is already saying things like they're the new superpower. They're sick of being the puppets behind the Americans. They're sick of being the, on the back of the dollar bill for all the world to see. Dollar bills are created very specifically, okay? This doesn't work out by accident where the Star of David, the Star of Remfram, literally spells the word Mason. They're tired of being in the shadows. They want to be the new superpower, but I think they underestimated things, or they're intentionally trying to get their own country and their own people destroyed to bring about whatever the Talmud or whatever the books they believe in are going to bring forward. They're trying to bring forward their Mashiach. You see what I'm saying? And Trump thinks he's going to be a legacy forever as the new Cyrus the Great. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is it's going really poorly. Iran took out one of our F-35s. You're not supposed to be able to do that whatsoever at all. Iran is smiting us and making us look stupid, and there's no way they didn't know that. Richie from Boston, here's the entire United States military. I want you to go attack Iran and get it done as quickly as you can, and don't affect the oil. Even though we're the largest oil producer in the world by far, gas prices are still going up. That's weird. We're the largest oil producer in the world. We invaded and took over Iraq, the second largest distributor of oil on earth. We attacked and took over Venezuela, the largest oil producer on earth. But now that Iran's fighting back because the terrorist United States and the terrorist Israel, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's true. They attacked Iran for no reason at all, and Iran's actually doing what Iran has to do. But then again, you got to remember, it's all part of the show, part of the big great reset, the new world order. You know what I mean? The new golden age. Everybody's playing their parts, but America's being made to look completely and utterly foolish because Donald Trump is an absolute clown. This guy isn't a president. Richie from Boston, here's the military take over Iran. First thing I want to do, all right, Delta Force, Army Rangers, Recon Marines, we need you to get in there and secure the Straits of Hormuz right off the bat, and don't let anybody know about it. Don't let it go in the media. And then we start raining freedom all over them. They didn't do that. And guess who pays the price? You and I. And I mean, we pay the price so bad, it's insane. Trump is going to bring in World War III. That's the whole point. America looks weak as a mother effer right now. Big time. But listen to this. It's pretty sad that you have to go to other countries to actually find out what's really going on, because everything that comes out of our country is Israeli propaganda. Israeli propaganda. Not even American propaganda. Israeli propaganda. That's where we live right now.
Hours after a visibly scared Donald Trump said he had nothing to do with the bombing of the Islamic Republic's South Pars gas field, Iran has hit its enemies even harder. Today, it bombed the Haifa's Bazan refinery. But its most significant achievement came when Iran claimed to lock and hit the mighty F-35 fighter jet. The CENTCOM has confirmed that its F-35 was attacked. This would be the broad focus of my video. Also in my video, the settler colony today tried to kill a British journalist in Lebanon, and this act was captured on camera. So please stay tuned. And also, if you happen to be celebrating Eid tomorrow, Happy Eid or Eid Mubarak to all of you. Faced with the ferocious retaliatory strikes by Iran to avenge the bombing of its South Pass gas field, Trump took to his social media platform to claim the settler colony had kept him in the dark about its intention to attack the Iranian energy facilities. He wrote, and I quote, "Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as South Pass gas field in Iran. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was going to happen. Unfortunately, Iran did not know this or any of the pertinent facts pertaining to the South Pass attack, and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility. No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pass field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, with or without the help or consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pass gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. I do not want to authorize this level of violence and destruction because of the long-term implications that it will have on the future of Iran. But if Qatar's LNG is again attacked, I will not hesitate to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump."
So imagine that, $109 million aircraft Iran still shot and made it land. Even though we won. They have no capabilities whatsoever at all. But every single day and every single night, Iran keeps smoking anybody that's helping the U.S. launch missiles or airplanes against them. And they're smoking Israel to the point where people are wondering if Netanyahu's even alive, which I don't care. It doesn't matter who's alive or who isn't, as you can see by the Iranians. But remember, they're all playing a part. So Israel must intentionally want to lose, because we could have beat Iran. We could have if we did it correctly, but it wasn't done correctly whatsoever at all. And believe it or not, we could have won. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to do a part 2 on who Trump has surrounded himself with now. You'll be surprised, but they're all dual citizenships and Ashkenazi Jews, everybody. And if anybody has the nerve, or they're not blackmailed by Epstein to walk away, they completely ridicule them in the news.